can't just go back to life the way it was, you know?
Hello and welcome to Working with What You Got. I am so excited that you decided to join us today because remember, our program is all about you realizing that you have more than you think you have. You have more time, you have more talent, you have more resources, you have more finances, you have more faith, you have more people on your side, and it is time to unknot your mind. Well, we're going to do what we always do every week, and we're going to cook. Remember, we cook with whatever we have. So you're going to say, what are we going to make? Well, my daughter said to me, Mommy, it's time for you to make something sweet. So I said, okay, what do I have sweet? Nothing. But you know what I do have? I have cereal. So I'm going to use some multi-bran flakes and some oatmeal, and I'm going to make oatmeal raisin drops. Are you ready? Okay, so we start with a cup of our multi-bran flakes. I like Nature's Path. They're a good brand. Very simple ingredients, not a lot of crap in it that you can't pronounce. Because remember, garbage in, garbage out. It's very important that you read labels. So I put a cup of flakes in here, and then I just took a regular masher and I just crush it. I like whenever I make a bar or I make any type of cookie or treat, I like it to be coarse because I like to feel like it's fibrous, but you might want it smoother. So if so, put it in your food processor for 30 seconds. All right, so we mashed up the flakes. We put in half a cup of quick oats. Everybody has oats, right? You have oats, you have flakes. What's this? Applesauce, pork chops and applesauce. We love applesauce. We put in 1 cup, 1 serving, I should say, of applesauce, raisins. Oops, that one goes in my mouth. And then we put in some of our sea salt, little sea salt. I have some almond extract. I have some cinnamon. I've already told you how I feel about cinnamon. So every opportunity I can to put it in something, I will. Put in our cinnamon, and this is vanilla extract. Now to make it cohesive, put it all together, I melted some coconut oil. This is a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. The last little touch is a little bit of honey. See how simple these ingredients are? Simple, very, very simple. Stir it up. We have our honey, have our coconut oil, almond extract, vanilla extract, sea salt, raisins, a cup of cereal crushed, and oatmeal. Actually, it makes a nice little crumble all by itself. Mix it really well. Let me taste it, see if we need anything else. This is the bomb diggity alone. Delicious. What we do after that, so I take a little scooper and I scoop it into my silicone cupcake holder. I like baking in silicone because nothing burns. So if I forget I have something in the oven and I get preoccupied, silicone saves the day. And then I bake it on 350 for 20 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Now I have a special taster today. I have my friend Paulie who loves oatmeal and raisin, and Paulie's gonna come. He's a host of another one of the shows that's here at Madhouse TV, and he is an ex-chef. So you know I'm scared. He's brutally honest, he's an ex-chef, and he's gonna be my taster. And he doesn't even know me that long, so he doesn't care about sparing my feelings. So I am very scared to have him as a taster. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little sauce on it. Come on, Paulie, come on. I'm going to put a little sauce on it.
Okay, what kind of sauce we use?
Let me see if you like it first. Now you know it's healthy, right?
Of course.
Okay. All right. So taste it and tell me what you think.
Moist, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a Danish.
It's kind of like a Danish. Yeah. Really? Any flavor popping out too much?
Not really.
No.
It's actually kind of good all the way around.
Okay.
What'd you use that was sweet?
Okay. What I just put on it was I took a little bit of that almond extract, and I took a little bit of the coconut oil and a little bit of honey. And after I baked it, I just kind of rolled it in there.
Drizzled it on?
You drizzle it on. Just kind of roll it in there.
Very good.
Yeah. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Paulie likes it.
You just got to put more of a detailed recipe together.
Well, it is. We got oatmeal. We got raisins.
And how much oatmeal do you use?
That was a quarter cup of oatmeal. And that was a full cup of cereal, bran cereal.
Okay.
All right? So then we took a handful of raisins, 1 serving of applesauce, and then everything else was poco poco. I just put a little cinnamon,
Okay.
little almond extract, and a little bit of the
Actually,
vanilla.
very, very good.
Yeah.
It's moist. It's got taste, it's got texture, it's got everything.
All right.
It really is actually delicious.
All right, thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome, darling.
Thank you,
Really.
Paulie. Now tell them about your show. Paulie has a show. Tell them about your show.
That guy's on TV. No. I do a show every morning, Monday through Friday with Annie, my wife. We do the Paul and Annie show. And it's hard to explain the show. Because I make fun of everybody. I have a very odd sense of humor. And she tolerates a lot. People, they watch my show and they're kind of stunned.
Okay, so what day is it?
Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 11:30 here at Madhouse.
And he's really being very modest. Yes, he's very blunt, but he's very, very bright and very insightful and has some wonderful, wonderful insight that he likes to share during his show.
I paid us to say that.
No, and I paid him to like my my oatmeal drop.
They're actually very good. I like that.
Oh, good. And
Well, you want one? Oh, the fat camera guy wants one.
Okay.
Oh.
James, you can get one right during our commercial, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have 2 practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power. Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power.
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Hello, we're back and welcome to Working with What You Got. I'm your host, Renee Joshua Porter, and I'm very excited because I have wonderful guests here today that are right in my alley. They are female filmmakers. I have Deborah Twist here. Hello, Deborah.
Hi, Renee.
And I have via Skype Michele Baldwin. Hello, Michele.
Hi, Renee. Hi, Deborah.
Hey.
And I have a special thank you to our mutual friend, Benja K. Thomas, that connected all of us. We love Benja. We're going to blow Benja a kiss.
We love you, Benja.
Benja. Benja happens to have worked with these lovely ladies, and Benja and I have worked together too. We've been friends forever and ever and ever. And she decided that we should all connect, and I'm so glad that we are here. Okay, so let's start. Tell us a brief background about yourself, Deborah, and then I'm going to ask you the same thing, Michele.
I am an actress and a filmmaker. I produce, write, direct, edit when I have to. And I was born to very young parents. My parents were 18 and 20 when they got married and had me, and my dad was still in college, and they're actually still together, which is kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
And we traveled all over the United States. My dad develops computer software, and they were just very great, inspiring people that always taught me that anything that I could ever imagine, I can achieve. And they certainly were the perfect example of that. And living the gypsy kind of lifestyle that we did was very inspirational to later being an actor and a filmmaker and a writer, because I got to see so many things, and I never got sucked into like the peer pressure thing.
Excellent, because you had that support probably.
Yes, absolutely. Between the support and the fact that, like, you know, we were such a tight band.
Yes.
You know, this family of 5, and we just like, we'd go here and then have an adventure, then we'd move there and have an adventure. And so I didn't get caught up in the dramas of wherever it was that I was living. And I could look at it separately as, like, you know, an outsider who was kind of just like passing through. And it was interesting. It was really good.
You said something that's really crucial. You said you were a tight band, and that's a real major factor.
Yeah.
It's a very major factor. Okay, Michele, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my story is similar but different in that I also am an actor, producer, filmmaker, writer, inspirer. I'm trying to find this all-encompassing word for us so that we don't have to say all these titles, but in our journey of independent filmmaking, you have to wear all the hats, and sometimes to cater and whatever else you need to be. Both my parents are not living, and my love for this industry kind of came out of not having a mother who loved me, so I kind of like had the adverse story where she would tell me, you know, when she was around before she left, you can't do this, you can't do that, you should, you know, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? And so my journey came from just knowing that someone telling me that I can't do it, I'm like, well, I'm going to show you that I'm going to do it. So rather than become a victim of a circumstance and not having that mother around, I used that to my benefit, and I just started observing the world and people, and my grandmother pretty much raised us with the help of my dad, and so she always watched black and white films, and I was just addicted to old films, and so that's kind of like where my journey started in this business.
I love this. Now, I didn't even know this about these two ladies, how vast their backgrounds are, how different, vastly different, and they still were able to achieve major goals. I love that. So that means there are no excuses. No excuses.
No.
Right? You heard two different spectrums, and they both achieved their goals. Love it. Okay, my daughter sent me a text telling me to put my phone away. Just so you know, the questions are on the phone, Milani Porter. Okay?
Right, yeah, we know you're texting.
Okay, I'm not texting during my show, all right? Okay, all right, so the next question was, what motivated you to start making films? And you have to share your interesting story. Come on.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's,
yeah.
I mean, there's two parts to it. First of all, when I was little, I started writing very, very young. And the first thing that I wrote that actually got produced was when I was in 3rd grade. And it was a play. And I, of course, gave myself the lead role in it, and the school paid to have it produced and put on.
Wow.
And so, you know, it really inspired me that, like, wow, I could, like, write these amazing roles for myself. And, I mean, I was a child. I was, you know, 9 years old when I did this. And then, you know, high school came, and I had wanted to go to medical school originally. My grandfather was a plastic surgeon, and I was fascinated with being a plastic surgeon for burn victims, but I really loved writing and acting and creating art. And also, I don't know, it just started to win out. So finally, I ended up going to New York to study acting. And before I left, my dad said to me, you know, I'm really concerned because actors always end up driving a taxi or waiting tables. What are you going to do if it doesn't work? And I'm like, Daddy, it's going to work. And if it doesn't, I'll just make my own movies. And he was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I was like, no, I will. And I did. And so I came to New York, and I started studying acting, and I got involved in theater. And then I found out that I had this knack for raising money. So I would, you know, help raise money for different theater things I was in. And of course, I became a waitress. And just like my dad said would happen, but, you know, I was making money. But when I would get cast in something, I would lose my waitressing job. So finally, I decided that I was going to try something a little different. And I thought it would be an interesting life experience because I was always very protective about who I am as a girl, as a woman. So I went and I started working in strip clubs. And I was like, I am going to make this money, and it's going to support my art, and I'll be able to go on any auditions I want, take any jobs I want. and that's what I did. And the great thing was I figured out a special way to do it. And what I would do is I would have my gorgeous dress on, and I'd come out and pretend that it was like, you know, an Oscar ceremony or whatever. And then I would find different guys that would want me to sit with them, and they would pay me to talk about movies. And I wouldn't dance, and the thing was to see how long I could, like, get them to give me $20 bills to keep me just hanging out and talking to them about this amazing thing that I was so passionate about before they would ask for a dance. And then, you know, if I wanted to, I would dance with them. Otherwise, I'd be like, you know what, I got to go to the dressing room and talk to a couple of my girlfriends. But I ended up raising the money for A Gun for Jennifer, the movie that I met Benja in. Benja played the lead opposite me. She was the female detective that was breaking this gang of female vigilantes that were going out, like, killing these men that had committed horrible crimes against women. And the whole concept of it was inspired from working in a strip club, actually.
That is awesome.
Yeah, no, it all works together. It really does.
It does. It falls into place.
It does. But it was really a wonderful thing because, like, you know, I saw inside that whole world, and it's not the way it's ever been portrayed in a movie. And so I'm actually working on a television series right now that I'm putting together with some friends that will show what really goes on in there. And nobody, like the girls that work there, they don't care about the guys. They care about each other. It's like this amazing girl club.
So there's a sisterhood inside of the strip club.
Absolutely. Completely.
Okay.
It is like, and it is tight.
Wow.
And there are some customers too, though, that I'm still friends with. We're Facebook friends. And they, like, watch everything I'm doing. They're like, wow, it's so cool. Like, you have kids now and you're married and you're making more movies. Oh, I always knew you'd do it. And, you know, they would come into these places just to, like, have somebody to talk to. It was interesting. Yeah.
I love it. Michele, what is your story?
Absolutely love your story. I really do. I just, you know, I am a big believer of, and it's not the word that everybody thinks, but I'm a big believer of the word pimp, person into making progress. So love it that's what you're doing. For me, again, I, like yourself, I was, you know, 5 years old, writing songs, writing scripts, performing them for for my siblings, you know, always casting myself and starring in them. Heck, I'm just wondering if you were supposed to be like my sister from another mother.
Yeah, I think so.
Because of your story. But that's kind of like where I started doing plays. And as I got older, you know, being raised by a grandmother who's older, get a real job, you know, acting isn't a real job, being a performer, it's so hard to, you know, make it in that business, so you should get a real job. And I was in college, and I was taking accounting, and I was like, oh my God, this is so boring. And I walked into a theater class, and that was it for me. Like, I knew that that's where I needed to be. Although I knew that at 5, I just had that validation in that theater class. And then maybe like 5 years ago, I was working with this producer. I was supposed to be in a film with a major star who got arrested. And he said, you know, Michelle, like, you're so smart. You should really like you have this interest behind the scenes. So I started going behind the scenes and working on projects, you know, assistant director, PA, whatever they needed. I just wanted to learn the whole gamut. So, which is why now I do the whole gamut like you. I shoot, I edit, I write, get it all done. So my first film, I took a flip camera because I was like, well, I don't have a camera. So I had a flip camera. I brought a flip camera. It was like $99. And I shot a movie, an entire movie on a flip camera.
So
cool. At the
cool.
time, you know, because you learn as you go. At the time, I wasn't really like knowing about, you know, the external sound, and, you know, so I recorded the sound right into the mic of the flip camera. But the picture was beautiful, and outside of the outside noise, we had a little sound, but it came out so beautiful, and I was so proud of myself because I said, hey, listen, I could say I don't have anything to make a movie, or I could take what I've got and go make a movie. So that's kind of how I started, and I have a new camera over there, and I've been shooting and writing. I just finished a TV script that's being shopped around about a sisterhood of a different kind. I love your story. It's actually about wives and, you know, building a bond to themselves, yes, and saying, hey, listen, men have been married forever and cheating and doing their things with, you know, while having families. So, hey, why can't women indulge in their own pleasures as well? So that's what that show is about.
Fun.
Yeah, finished another script that we're going to be shooting in about 3 months. It's called Chicken's Roost, and it's about the dysfunction of family. And so I'm really excited to just be in this journey and just doing and making films. And I'm loving that Benja is so perfectly right about us all getting together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, I'm in awe right now.
This is excellent. Now tell me, Michele, what are you feel are some of the biggest obstacles that you encounter?
For me, I would say I try to take any obstacle.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
And turn it into a lesson.
Hold on one second. I want to say one thing.
Learning.
Michele, I meant to just phrase something. Obstacle internally and externally.
Okay. So obstacles externally would probably be, because I'm a big believer of the serenity prayer. So obstacles would be for me like other people, because I can't change other people. Money, because it's not always there, but eventually I know I'll get it. So those are sometimes things that impede or halt or slow down the process for me. Other than that, I just really try to find a way around that obstacle. The internal obstacles for me are that, you know, because I am a true believer in being an inspirer and helping other people, I have learned that I have to learn when to not help someone when they don't want to be helped, and I'm exhausting all this energy to try to get this person just, you can do it, you can do this by any means necessary, and then they're like still going through the same issue. So for me, an internal thing is just this need to always, you know, really help people when I need to learn to pull back when it's not going good.
Excellent. Excellent. How about you, Deborah?
It's funny. I have the similar external money, but after we made A Gun for Jennifer, I became friends with Abel Ferrara, and he's made so many movies. And he said to me, you know, Deb, the one thing I got to tell you is getting money for a movie never gets any easier. You know, it's like he's got other issues going on that make it difficult for him to get money, but you know, it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. So between money and maybe I'll tell you the rest after your break.
After our sign for our commercial. Okay, we'll be right back after this.
Oh.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! It's like you got I don't. Power.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce dryer bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Old Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power. Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power.
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
I know how to clean it up.
Well, you're an artist.
All right, we are back. I have dynamic women here with me. I'm Renee Joshua Porter. This is Working What You Got. I have the lovely Deborah Twist, and I have to thank Deborah. Deborah is coming over the trials of the weather, dealing with some little respiratory stuff, and she is such a trooper. She's here. Air kisses, air kisses. Don't want any bugs. But thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much. And I have Michele Baldwin, and she's over here in Jersey, and these wonderful women are sharing their stories. And before we went to the break, Deborah was talking about, she talked about an external obstacle, and then she was saying the internal obstacle. You go.
The internal obstacle that I find I run into over and over,
Yes.
and I got it, I'm determined now to get over it, is I'm totally like a Pollyanna inside. I believe everything is possible, everyone is truly good at heart. Every person that I meet, I imagine what they were like as a baby. And every baby is completely innocent, and it's like you would love every baby that you could ever meet. you wouldn't think that they're bad or do things or lie or cheat or steal or anything like that. And it's gotten me into trouble. And so I trust too much. And when people tell me, I'm going to do this for you and that's how it is, I believe them. Because I have no reason to think they wouldn't be that. Because I believe that what you say is your code. And if you speak something, then you stand by it. And that is like, to me, worth so much. More than money, more than fame, more than anything. Like, what I say is people can rely on the fact that it is golden, it is truth. And I expect the same from everyone else. And I, project onto other people this trust. And I keep running into people who really don't deserve it. So I think, this last round of lying and double dealing con artists, I mean, literally con artists that I've come up against.
How do you handle that? I mean, it's so saturated in this business.
Do you know how wonderful it is to be a writer? Every single character in my life that has ever brought some sort of like darkness or anger or sadness or, I mean, the reason I'm sick right now is also psychological. I've been dealing with a major con artist liar in my life. And last year at this same time, I was dealing with the same issue and, was able to like put it aside for a year. And here it is. And now it has to get dealt with. But the great thing is, like as I said, I can write about these people. I can make these into the characters and help other people in the world then learn from the mistakes I've made that, although it looks like, a sheep, it looks docile and sweet and innocent.
It's a wolf.
It's a wolf.
It's a wolf.
And no matter what, it's still a wolf wearing those sheep's clothing.
Well, I have a really good friend who's actually in the studio today, one of my best friends on the planet. And we've had conversations like this, Frances Pierre. And one of the things that she said that really helped me was to come from a place of not having expectations when you're dealing with anybody. That doesn't mean you're negative. That doesn't mean you're pessimistic, but I don't expect anything. So if I don't expect it, then it's, I just look at it as tabula rasa. I'm just have that blank slate.
Yeah.
And I just take what you give me at that moment.
That's great.
And, and I also have found discernment. I've learned to trust the knot. Now, of course, we're unknotting our mind, but I'm talking about that check that I get. Sometimes you just get a little check, you don't know what the check is. And I tell that even to my kids. You don't even have to know what the check is. Just heed the check.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
I don't have to diagnose it, because as women, because you mentioned that thing, Michelle, about wanting to help people. As women, we have that save the world, I can make you better. I have women hear me roar. No. Just trust the check. Trust the check. And
the intuition.
Trust that check and then navigate accordingly.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a really, really good point. Really good point. Michelle, you wanted to say something?
No, I just agree. I'm the same person. I have no reason to not trust you until you prove me wrong. But the hurt is in the when you're proven wrong because you trusted someone. So yeah, that becomes a challenge sometimes. But Miguel Ruiz, I'm a big believer of Miguel Ruiz's teachings. Being impeccable with your word and not allowing what other people say and do to affect you, because it's not about you, it's about them. And when you start to come from that place that it's about them and not about you, you can move a lot easier and freer with your own journey.
Now, thank you for that. Just a sidebar, you said that you were at this same place last year.
Yes.
So what do you feel like there's anything that you've now learned to unknot that's going to help you not to be there next year?
Well, the one thing that I've learned in this last year, because I've had to basically take a film and do everything. Like, and I'm so not a wimp. Like I'm totally like you. Like, I'll go and I'll wash the floors. I'll help load the stuff on the truck. I'll go run and grab craft service. I'll help other actors get their makeup done or this or that, whatever. But I've really gone into this deep place where it's like, having to completely undo somebody else's edit and deal with like footage that wasn't put into the computer properly, and you know, things that were done in Final Cut X that have to be done in Final Cut 7 instead, and it's just like, holy mackerel, my brain is frying. But my editor, who, oh my God, you would love my editor. She's amazing. She actually, her name is Phyllis Housen, and she was one of the editors on Kill Bill. They had like, you know, 20 editors, but she, the scene that she did is that big crazy one at the end that's in black and white, where like, you know, Uma Thurman goes in and just like slices and dices everybody. But she even said, because she's been right there by my side this whole time, she's like, Deb, when you get done with this, there's going to be nothing that anyone can tell you about post-production that you don't know.
That's
and
fantastic.
it's so true, and it's
Beautiful.
completely empowering, and I'm just like, damn, yeah.
That's
And
a golden nugget.
Totally,
That's
absolutely.
a golden nugget.
Yep.
So that means through all of that, you've come out with spoils. You came out with some goods.
Oh yeah.
You're not going through the bronchitis and all the other stuff for nothing. You're coming out. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, you're a weapon now.
Oh.
Watch out. Michele, tell me a personal accomplishment, something that you're really proud of.
I'm proud of all the things that I say done, but most recently, and again, it's that whole thing of, you know, saving the world kind of thing. Well, the project that I started, the Actors Life, the series, I decided that we were going to make our own damn movie. And in making our own damn movie, that I was going to push these actor friends of mine to learn how to do for themselves and not be, you know, stuck in the rut of, oh my God, I'm not getting cast, I'm not doing anything, and I'm not going to ever. And I'm like, yes, you can, because you can do things as long as you know, tally up your resources and say, okay, I've got this, I've got that. Oh, I can call this person or that person and get this and get that. So long story short, I took a bunch of different actors from different backgrounds all over the place, pulled them into one project, and after 2 years of painstaking, I don't know, I can tell you some war stories, we finished a movie last week.
Oh my God.
And Benji will tell you, I'm the bad person that says, listen, if you're sick, then your character's sick. If you can't walk, then we have an issue. If you're dead, then we have an issue. But if you're sick with bronchitis, Deb, your character is sick. So the last day of the shoot, I get sick. In the toilet, on the toilet, literally an hour before I'm shooting an argument sex scene.
Oh. Oh my God.
So to get through that, after all the, you know, people dropping out, people not being able to, you know, they need help to get to their scene, or they need, you know, help getting locations, and just whining, and just saying to myself, we have to finish this movie, and I can't allow those outside interferences of the people that were involved in the project to stop us. So when I finished that scene, as sick as I was and dehydrated and sick, I was just so elated and so proud that, you know, it was done.
It was done.
You know, that it's all in the can. We have to edit it now, but the hard work to me is, you know, the planning, the locations, the actors, the scenes. I mean, they were writing their own scenes, and it was just crazy. And I don't know why I took on this crazy thing, but maybe it was just a personal challenge for myself. And to be able to say it's done, I can't tell you how. Ooh,
that's excellent.
Michele,
Michele, that's a really great nugget, because one of the biggest, you know, obstacles really is completion.
Yeah.
Completion is one of the biggest ones. We have that clip ready, Annie? Can we go over to the clip of Sebastian?
Oh.
Why does Mommy work so much?
I'm ready for a change myself.
Why?
So, what do you say we take a drive out there on the island? And we check it out. Okay?
I was actually thinking of renting out this house. Brickford House.
Right, yeah.
Alice and her mom. There's a nice family. I would like to live here. If I could leave you in it, I would.
Father Thomas, I have a strange sense that something is happening. Something that involves your family.
Something's wrong with Ariel.
What do you mean?
She looks sick. Mommy, why did the bad boy come?
So what is it that you sense? A great sadness, but it also involves Alice. I'm afraid there's a connection.
What are you praying for?
Her soul.
Something crazy is going on.
I thought it was just me. I guess it is the house.
So much went on there. Too much family drama.
Bad?
Anything strange ever happened in that house?
Everything all right, Alice?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Sebastian.
That was a clip of Deborah's film Sebastian. Give us a little synopsis on what inspired it.
It's actually inspired by a true haunting that happened in our house. We were living in a brownstone in Brooklyn, and my daughter was 1.5 years old, and there was a spirit that was attacking her. And she would freak out, and ultimately, I made an agreement with this entity that I would tell his story if he would leave my daughter alone. And it was a very strange moment. My daughter got bit by, my brother was staying with us. His dog bit my daughter's face, and we had to rush her to the emergency room. And when we got back, my son, who was 3 years old at the time, said, the bad boy made the dog bite Sydney's face. And my husband and I were freaked out because we'd been seeing how, she'd be playing and then all of a sudden she would react to something and then just tremble, and she'd hide in my shirt, and she would breathe really funny. She'd just be like, and I would ask her, what's wrong? And she just would be like, she couldn't look at me, she couldn't say anything. And there was this one day we were sitting at the table. It was a month after she had gotten bit in the face. And we were sitting at the dining room table, and she was on my lap, and my son was sitting across in his little clippy chair that clips onto the table, and my husband was at the head of the table, and she kept laughing, and she was like, Maddie, no, don't tickle my feet. And I'm like, honey, Maddie's over there. He's sitting in his chair. He's not tickling your feet. And she started laughing. She's like, no, Maddie, tickle my feet. Maddie, tickle my feet. And I'm like, honey, Maddie is not under the table. And she went and she looked under the table and did that thing and freaked out. She got inside my shirt, trembling, and it hadn't happened in a month, not since the bite. And I got her, I took her out, I gave her to my husband. It was August. And I said, take her, take Matt, walk, get out of the house, walk. I'm dealing with this right now. And I stood there in the middle of the parlor floor of this brownstone, and I said, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want, but don't try to do this to her. Talk to me. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. And it was like the top of my head opened up, and these images just came through me. I mean, it's like, I had never experienced anything like this before. And I basically saw that this kid, what he went through and what happened. And my brother at that same moment came running down the stairs. He had been taking a nap upstairs. And he said, oh my God, I just had the most crazy dream about who this spirit is that's attacking Sydney. And we both, it was the truth. So then I had agreed that I would tell his story. And every time I would sit down at the computer and start to write, I'd be like, this is really exploitive. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And then the hauntings would start again. And it got worse and worse to the point where I'd be walking in the hallway right after thinking about how, you know what, I'm not going to write that film. That's like, ugh. And I'd hear him say, Deborah. And I'd be like, oh my God, I can't even, you know. Or there was this one time I was making baby bottles for my kids. And you know the lights that you put in the windows at Christmas? That you screw the bulb in and they light up when the bulb is screwed in? Well, there was this metal table that we had next to the refrigerator on the parlor floor. And there were like 8 of the candles because we were packing up all the Christmas stuff. And I turned to get the bottles out of the refrigerator. I turned back and all the lights were on. And I just had this cold feeling all over me. And it was like the same day that I had closed the computer and said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I walked over to my husband and I had the bottles and I was like, why did you do that to me? And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, why did you go in there and turn all the lights on? You know I'm freaked out about this stuff. And he's like, Deb, I've been sitting here with the kids. Look at me. Does it look like I was just up? And I realized I have to do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And there'd even be nights like I'd be sitting in bed and I would hear him walking across the floor to me and stand there. My daughter told me just recently, ooh, I just got chills. My daughter told me recently about how when we don't live there anymore, when she would wake up in the middle of the night and she would look, like we did the family bed up until we moved out of that house. And my daughter would wake up next to me and she would see this little boy sitting on the pillow above the two of us looking at her.
Wow. Deborah, that is very interesting, and we're going to come back to it. We're going to take a commercial. I am so excited to have you, but we're definitely going to talk about that. Deborah and Michele, we'll be right back after this commercial.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have 2 practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Hi, we are back. I'm Renee Joshua Porter. I have Deborah Twist here. I have Michele Baldwin. I wish we had more time, ladies, because you guys are stories within yourself. Deborah, you can contact her on DeborahTwist.com.
DeborahTwistActress.com.
DeborahTwistActress.com.
Or Facebook.
Or on Facebook. And MichelleBaldwin.com also. Is that correct?
Yes, MichelleBaldwin.com or on Facebook.
Well, you know, we always end every one of our segments with a story. And there's a story I want to share. Back in June 17th, 2011, I had a situation that happened. I had just dropped off my 11-year-old over to his friend for a play date, and I got a call from my daughter. And she said, "Mommy, you got to come quick." Now, I had just left the home. I had left my 2 sons and my daughter folding laundry while I was running Elliot, the littlest one, to piano lessons and then over to a play date. So on my way coming back, because it's not that far away, I get a call from my daughter, and she says, "Mommy, you have to come back now. Julian has been hit with a car." Julian is my eldest son, hit with a car? I don't understand. What do you mean, Julian? I just left him folding laundry. No, he's been hit with a car. And so my organization, the Burning Bush Family Foundation, we have a bus, and I was driving my little minibus, and it had just begun to rain. So I was maybe about less than 5 minutes from my home, and I said, "Where is he?" And she told me the address where he was, and I couldn't picture the address. You know, in that state, even though I live there, you know, in that panic state, you really can't actually picture where you're driving to. And as I drove to the location, I realized there was the yellow tape from the police, and there was the ambulance, and everybody was there. And I just stopped the bus in the middle of the rain that had begun to fall, and I'm running in my flip-flops, and the police are there and the EMS is there, and I see Julian at the time. He's in the 8th grade, and he's skinny and he's frail, and he's bleeding from different parts of his body on the stretcher. His bike is mangled, and I'm in a state, and they're saying, "Ma'am, you have to come now. You have to come now." And I'm like, "What happened?" And my daughter's crying, and there's neighbors on the street, and it's a fog, and it's like something out of a film that Deborah or Michele would make. And I'm just in a whirlwind, and I get in the front seat of the ambulance, and they're saying, "Julian, you have to stay awake." And they're trying to keep Julian awake, and they have the mask on his neck, on his face. And I'm sitting in the front seat, and I heard a voice. I heard a voice say, "He's going to die like Natasha Richardson, Liam Neeson's wife. You know how she hit her head? He's going to die like that." And as I'm sitting there, there was a voice telling me that my son was going to die. And I started to say, "No, he's not. No, he's not. That's not the end of the chapter. That's not our destiny. That's not our destiny." And the man that's driving the ambulance, he's looking at me because I guess he thinks I'm freaking out, I'm bugging out. And I'm saying this because there is an enemy. I happen to be a Christian, and so you know I'm always going to insert different things according to my faith, because I do believe that the Lord is real and that Jesus Christ is real. And there is a voice that will try to filter in knots. Their aim is to kill, steal, and destroy. And at that point, that voice said to me, "Your son is going to die like Natasha Richardson." What am I thinking about the actress Natasha Richardson as I'm driving in an ambulance over to Good Samaritan Hospital? Would I tell myself that? No. It was a nasty, demonic voice, very much like the demonic entity that Deborah heard. But what I realized, when that voice comes, you have to come with the counter word of God. You have to know what God says over your life. And I said, "No, that's not my son's destiny. That's not how it's going to end. I will not bury my son. I will not bury my son." I was so frightened. He suffered major injuries, contusions, broken ribs, bleeding on the skull, broken femur, surgery that's supposed to take 2 hours took 6 hours. It was a horrible thing that I wouldn't wish on the worst enemy. But when that enemy comes, and he comes and he tries to knot up your life, knot up your mind, knot up your decisions, you have to know God's promises over your life. And you don't entertain it. You don't dialogue with him. You don't argue with him. All you say is, no way. It's time for you to free your mind, and the rest will follow. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great day. See you next week.